This week we follow the players through a big fan event, and we also get to know the two most recognizable voices of the season. We also have lineup changes on this episode of Around the Horn. So today we are joined here in the studio by Terry Thompson, Gatemen pitching coach, who returns here for his second summer in the Cape in Wareham. Welcome back, and thank you for taking your time to join us here in the studio.
Thanks for asking me.
First question I have for you is, how tough has it been to maintain a pitching staff, most of the season with mostly temporary players? I know that we've made the final adjustments to the roster, but how tough was it on you to balance that with most temp players?
Well, it's always a balancing act, and it's very difficult fitting the pieces together. They're not used to me. I'm not used to them. I have to get to know them and then try to plug them into roles. And, of course, we had some players that didn't report until late June, early July, and we also had some players, some pitchers injured during their season that couldn't report. So it's definitely a challenge.
Yeah. Now, over the last 7 days, the staff is 1-4 with an ERA of 4.70. Do you think that's due to the hitters adjusting or just struggling pitchers at this time?
Well, actually, I think the ERA is down a little bit from what it was previously, and it's higher than last year, but I think league-wide it's a little higher too. I think it comes from a couple of different factors. A lot of these kids coming in to pitch realize once they get here that they have to make some adjustments, and we've had to make some mechanical adjustments with some. We made pitch adjustments with others, and it just takes time. It takes some time and patience, and a lot of people don't have the patience or the stomach for the time that it takes for pitchers to develop. But these pitchers are developing, and this is a very tough proving ground for them. For example, we have probably 8 or 9 pitchers that have learned new pitches within the last week to 10 days, and they have to have time to work on those in their flat ground work and also in their bullpen work, and then to work them into being game ready. So it takes some time and takes some adjustment, and you have to have a lot of patience with pitchers. Some pitchers that I've talked to this year, and my experience with them last year, is also they come in and some of the things that they did in college don't work here, and it takes a little while, a couple of outings for them to figure that out. Once they do, then the adjustment period starts, and they have to learn some different pitches, change mechanically a little bit, or in many cases, even more important, is change how they think.
Yeah, now that kind of led into what I was going to ask you about, with the team ERA being near the bottom of the league, what type of adjustments needed to be made, but you basically just covered that right now. So it kind of helps having some returning pitchers come back from last season. I know you get Connor Wade and you get Barrett Aston. I know there were more guys who were supposed to come in, but do they help provide a leadership in your pitching staff?
Oh, absolutely. Having Connor back and Barrett has been a huge plus the last week or so. They give our pitching staff some experience and also some leadership, and we're very fortunate to have them. It's kind of funny or ironic that both of them are pitching differently than they did in college. Connor was a starter in college and Barrett was a closer, and here they've kind of flip-flop roles, and they have so because Barrett is expected to be a starter for Arkansas next year, and Connor threw so many innings at Arizona this year that he wanted to limit his pitches in his innings, so we are pitching him out of the bullpen this year, which he's very familiar with because he was our closer last year.
Yeah. Now, watching the games, it seems like you guys have generally developed a pattern now as to who pitches in what type of situations. Like with the addition of Colby Suggs and Connor Wade, that solidifies the back end of the bullpen.
Yes.
But it seems like more guys have fallen into more of a role in the bullpen. Is that more comfortable for them, or?
I think so, and I think they're just now beginning to accept their role, to learn their role, and I'm just now beginning to fit them into their role. Like I said earlier, it takes some time for them to make adjustments and for us to see how they handle different situations. And one thing that I like to do with pitchers, and some people probably don't like it, but for pitchers to improve, they have to be challenged. And so when they get in jams in late June, early July, in the early part and mid part of the season, they need to work out of those jams. They need the experience of trying to do that. Every time they get into a jam, if we bail them out, then they don't get that experience of having to bear down, make some adjustments while they're pitching to the hitters, learn to handle situations as they occur, pressure situations. And so hopefully some of our guys have learned that and learned the hard way, obviously, and in many cases. But I think in the end it'll prove very profitable for them and us also.
All right, and my final question for you is, at this point in the season, just over midway point, what is the strongest, in your opinion, what is the strongest part of the pitching staff right now? Is it the bullpen? Is it starting? Is it long relief? What do you see as the strongest?
I think that at this point in the season, the back end of our bullpen is very strong. If we can get to the 7th, 8th, 9th inning with all of our guys healthy, that throw in those situations in those innings, we're very, very strong. We're very strong, I think, in 2 or 3 of the starting roles. We need a few of the starters to pick it up a little bit and make some adjustments, although we have some very talented guys that have worked very hard and are learning. And I think where we struggle the most is in the middle part of the game, in the 4th, 5th, 6th inning. After the 2nd and 3rd at-bat occur for the other team and they make some adjustments hitting, we've got to make adjustments with them and make sure we get through those innings. That's kind of been our hang-up at through this point in the season, is the middle innings, and we've got to make some adjustments to get through those middle innings to get to the back end.
Ben Fontana joined by Arkansas State outfielder Logan Huck, who just joined the Gatemen a couple weeks ago. And Logan, you're almost playing every day. You're getting a lot of reps in the outfield. So how's that experience versus school to here, where you're playing pretty much every day of the week?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun up here. You know, me and CJ just came up a couple weeks ago, and we jumped right into things, and now we're starting to get a good grasp of what's going on and having a good time with it.
Now with the Gatemen, you're only batting a little below 200. I know it's still early in the season, but at school you led the Arkansas State Red Wolves with 10 home runs. So what's the biggest adjustment between wooden bats and metal bats?
Not that big of an adjustment, just the pitching is a lot better up here. You know, people are hitting their spots a lot more, and people aren't missing up where you can get pitches to hit, and pitchers are a lot better up here, and just a little adjustment that I need to make, and hopefully I can finish strong here.
Now, last week, the guys at Wareham and everyone else on the Cape went to Fenway. I mean, was it your first time we ever went to the Red Sox Park?
Yes.
And how was that experience with all the other guys and working out at Fenway?
It was a great experience. You know, we had a lot of fun. A lot of guys hitting the ball over the monster, and it was just great to be on the field and be at that park.
Mm-hmm. And did you have any fun times? Did you guys do anything special while you were up in Boston?
No. We kind of just got back on the bus and came back. But me and CJ went up to Boston the other day and kind of explored, and we had some fun up there. Okay,
so I guess that leads me to my next question. What's your funnest experience been on the Cape so far, either during a game or not during a game?
Just the whole experience. You know, you're playing baseball in Cape Cod, probably the best league in the country. It's just a great time. You know, great guys, and just having a lot of fun.
Okay, Logan, best of luck to you for the rest of the season.
Appreciate it.
All right, now we're alongside with Logan Huck's Arkansas State teammate, Claude Johnson. I know you guys are pretty attached to the hip, so where did that friendship start? Was it at school or somewhere else?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got there and started bonding real quick, you know. All our teammates are pretty close, so he's a good friend, you know, besides the teammate, he's a good friend. So.
Right, so you guys were at school together, now you're here at the Cape together, and you had 19 doubles at school. You led Arkansas State with RBIs, so what's the biggest adjustment coming here to the Cape versus wooden bats to metal bats?
The competition, I mean, it's really good, you know. Every day, I mean, some days we see, you know, stiff competition, but other days we won't. But here you see, you know, tough competition every time you're out there. So just got to give it the best you got every time.
And you mentioned every day, so what's that like pretty much playing every day of the week? It's like an MLB season right here.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's what I want to do. This is my dream as a kid, you know, so, I mean, I'm having a good time and playing baseball every day.
And last week you guys got a chance to go to Fenway all the way up to Boston, so how was that experience? Was it pretty fun?
Pretty fun, man. I mean, I've never been. I really hadn't been on too many MLB fields, so it was a really good time trying to, hit the ball over the monster. So, and I did, so it's something to remember.
There you go. And Logan also said you guys spent the day in Boston together, so how was the city?
Oh, it was pretty nice. We walked around a ship. I mean, I'm not sure what the name of the ship was, but we had a good time.
Right. And so also, I know you and Logan came here from Arkansas State, and you're here on the Cape. You're spending time with the host family at the field. What's been your best memory on the Cape so far?
Just spending time with these guys, man. It's fun meeting new people from all over the country. It's a fun time.
Okay, and I also know Claude Johnson is King Claudius on Twitter. So where did that handle come from?
I don't know, just my foolishness, I guess. Okay. My teammates liked it, so I ran away with it.
And you're pretty active on there too. So do you use that for basically baseball, friends, anything else?
Friends, baseball. I mean, just basically updating whatever I feel like.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so be sure to follow Claude Johnson on Twitter and here on the ball field at Spillane Field.
We do a lot of interacting with fans at school. We have our 19 Ways program, which is just community service. We'll get out in the community, we'll sign autographs, we'll help do different types of work, we'll help churches and all that kind of stuff. So we're out in the community a lot. But as far as a big thing like this, there's no, in Blacksburg at least, there's no big malls. So we haven't set up and gone into the community as far as this, but we've done similar things with our 19 Ways, which has been a good time, been a blast.
Yeah, I said earlier in the season we have like a team dinner with all the fans, and then kind of a day like this where we sign autographs. But there's not as much community involvement, I'd say, during the season.
We got a lot of days like this, and we have a first pitch banquet and stuff before the season starts that we let anybody who wants to come in, and we line up and we sign autographs for everybody.
We do, me and Barrett do. We have can drives, and we have a mall signing day that we do, and we go out and do community service as a team, have Christmas dinners, and give out Thanksgiving dinners.
We had the day at the field where all the fans came. We got signatures and whatnot, but
yeah, we at Mississippi State, we do. Sometimes we go out to hospitals and Boys and Girls Clubs, and we've done things like that. So, it's good for the community to get out and interact with some of the fans. So it's really good PR, and I think it's a good thing to do.
We have autograph night, and then we have things like Special Olympics where we go out and do stuff with people. There's a lot of activities we end up doing.
We have a few of them, but not, and the fan base today was huge. So we don't ever have like autographs and stuff, but we have some smaller things, but this is a lot bigger, I think.
After every single game, we come out the locker room and there's fans waiting on us. And it's great because even after a loss, the fans are always there to support you, and I think that's really cool.
We'll have signings at the basketball arena every year where all the fans come in for games can meet us. And then just like them, after games, there's always fans standing around.
We meet with this program called the Deploys Academy. It's I think it helps inner city youth get out there, play sports, and stay out of trouble.
We do a lot of them at basketball games and stuff. We'll go to a basketball game and people will bring I got some of these guys bring 5,000 little sheets with our schedule and pictures on it, and we all got to sign them. It takes the whole basketball game, but we do it.
Yeah, we do some community service with Children's Center across from our baseball stadium, and we go over there and read to the kids and sign autographs for them.
this is a good time getting to see all the fans and everything. The kids, they love it. I mean, it's just helping out. It's a good feeling knowing that everybody wants you to do good and having them come out to your games and support you.
I'm having a blast. I love meeting all these kids. They're all excited, and some parents that are all fun. And it's just good to like interact with the community and get to know them. So like when they come to the field, they know your number, they know your face, and they talk to you.
Growing up, I've always been the kid that went around getting other people's autographs. You know, the big guys that I looked up to every day, and being that guy now is great. It's really a huge motivation for me.
I'm here with Mott Hyde, sophomore at Georgia Tech, and this is your second year with the Gatemen. And you just returned from the College World Series. That's why we missed you at the beginning of the season.
Well, we didn't make it all the way to the College World Series. We got put out in the regionals, but we made a pretty good run at the late season.
What was that like?
I mean, it was a good experience playing with a bunch of great guys. They really came together as a team at the end, though.
Well, so like I mentioned, this is your second year here with the Gatemen. Knowing that you were coming back, what did you look forward to most?
Just making a lot more improvements than I did last year. I struggled a little bit, and just coming here, I just looked to improve in a couple aspects of my game.
And I'm sure it doesn't hurt that there's deep sea fishing here. I heard you took a little trip recently.
We did. We went today. We didn't catch too many fish, but it was a lot of fun.
Who of you guys went out there?
It was me, Daniel Polka, and Cole Sturgeon.
Well, so you talked about improving this season, and you were 151 overall last season. Oh no, you're sighing. Last season, but already this year you're at 312 with your batting average and a home run.
Yep.
What has changed for you?
I think just confidence. Last year I think I lacked a lot of it. This year, not getting myself into a big hole at the beginning really helped too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that would kind of put a damper on things for you. Now, one last thing. Ty McFarland, earlier in the season, I interviewed him, and he was not forced. He completely offered to do this, to juggle on camera. Look at you, you know it's coming.
I've heard about this.
I know that you did. Oh, no. Because he enjoyed it so much, right?
I did it last year.
I know, I saw that. So since you're like, that's it, I'm one and done. But since you weren't here for me to incite a juggle off between you earlier this season, I was wondering if you wanted to do it on camera, maybe give him a little run for his money, show the people what you got.
I can do a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, I guess.
I'm here with Gatemen pitcher and outfielder Cole Sturgeon. Now, Cole, typically at the collegiate level, you have to give up one or the other. How did you manage to keep doing both?
This year our coaches just wanted me to give it a shot, so I got the chance to pitch a little bit, and it worked out.
Is it hard to manage both? Because it seems like you're using different skill sets to pitch and then to bat.
Not really. Our coaches have a pretty good schedule worked out to where I get both done, and I don't have to do a whole lot extra, so it works out pretty good.
And then you were doing it at college too, so you kind of have the routine down, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. We have pretty good routine at Louisville down, so I know what I need to do.
Well, that's perfect. Now, you're a business finance major at Louisville, and you've said that you want to work in the front office for a pro team. Does that mean that you are not intending to pursue this professionally, or that's kind of a backup plan?
Oh yeah. I mean, if I get the chance to play, I would love to. Hopefully, I get the chance, but. If not, I want to try to stay around the game. I love it a lot, so that'd be a big dream come true if I get the opportunity to work in a front office.
Man, you and me both. So what's the best thing about being on the Cape so far?
Probably just the atmosphere. It's a lot different than where I was last summer. Everyone loves baseball up here, and everyone knows when you have a game, and it's a really cool experience so far.
Do you find that it's different from your collegiate experience? Because I'm sure that you guys are really big down there as well.
No, I mean, not so much from college, but, the whole community, knows what's going on, which is a little different. Louisville's a big city, so, campus knows and the people who follow us know, but I hear everybody knows, and that's really cool.
Yeah. And I also heard that you've made friends with a certain furry four-legged pal. Is that true? There's a picture on Twitter of a beautiful golden retriever.
Yeah. My host dog. She's crazy. She wants to play baseball more than we do. She has a tennis ball in her mouth all the time, and I live with Jared Ruxer, and she just sits there and stares at us until we throw her the ball. So, she's fun.
Oh, that's fun. Wait, so you live with your teammate then?
Yeah.
Oh, what's that like?
It's fine. live with him pretty much all year anyway, so nothing new.
You sick of him by now?
Nah, not really. It's fun.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Paul.
Joining us today in the studio are two of the most recognizable voices in the Gatemen organization in 2012, our internet broadcasters, Ben Fontana and Jared Safran. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome. Great to be here. I figured we'd be the most recognizable voice.
Well, you two have, for this season, you guys are. So you guys follow on a long line of broadcasters from Syracuse. We had Alex Perlman here in 2009. We had Eric Silverman in 2010. Bill Spalding last year, 2011. What made you guys decide to come here and join in that legacy of Syracuse broadcasters?
Well, we heard about it from all of them, and we heard that the Gatemen were the team to go to if you want to choose a team on the Cape, and that had a big influence on it.
I mean, same. I mean, I just talked to Bill like week after week, especially towards the end of last year when he was with the Gatemen in the playoffs. It just sounded like a great experience, and just spending your summer, especially out here. I know we're in Wareham. It's not quite the Cape, but it's still a really fun experience. Everyone in the organization is just tremendous to us.
And it's paid.
This is paid. All right. How much time does it take you guys to prepare for it? I know there's a lot of preparation going into a game, game notes, stats, stuff like that. How much time does it normally take you guys to prepare for a game?
Well, for me, it's just a matter of what do I focus on today. A lot of times it's more the other team. I'll focus on how they hit with runners in scoring position, how they pitch in the same situations, or like a team like Harwich, you look at who has a lot of the home runs. But a lot of times it'll be like I'll focus more on the other team because I feel like I know the Gatemen because I see them every night. But every day it's more just like when I have the time to prepare, it's just what do I want to focus on today. And sometimes it's more Wareham, sometimes it's more the opponent.
I mean, I'd have to agree. You look at the Gatemen, we see them every single day. Every other team, we only see them maybe like 4 times a year. We've only seen a team max at 3 times right now. If you're looking for an exact number, maybe I have to say altogether before I actually get to the ballpark, maybe an hour and a half. Once I get to the ballpark, it's another hour on top of that. So you're looking at a lot of time during the day where you're just filling out a scorebook. You're doing things like looking up college stats, regular season stats, what they did if they were there last year on the Cape. A lot of stuff that you want to add to the broadcast that people might not know about if they're just watching the game.
One thing people always like to hear is like if a guy got drafted in the MLB draft or what he did for his college season, like little tidbits from that. Like I remember I found out that Daniel Palka and Mott Hyde went back-to-back or something with home runs against Clemson, I think it was, and then Palka hit a walk-off. So I figured that would be interesting to mention. So anything like that, if guys have gotten drafted or if they've done anything interesting, that's the things you really want to find and you really look for.
Or even if a guy like Daniel Palka's roommate is Zane Evans, who was the pitcher for Harwich the other night.
Yeah, that adds a very unique dimension to the. Now, what's been the biggest surprise or biggest thing that you've found out about the Cape League so far since your time here that you found interesting?
Well, everyone always told me it was a pitcher's league, so I've been a little surprised at all the home runs that have been hit.
Yeah, I can't remember. I've been around this team for years, and I can't remember this much power in the league this early in the season, never mind the whole season. I mean, last year I think we had 6 home runs as a team, and we have 2 guys already that have 6 home runs, so it's kind of interesting. And
I mean, yeah, that is a big surprise. I wasn't really expecting. Actually, I'd have to say one thing that really surprised me is just how welcoming everybody is. I was kind of nervous coming in, but once you get to meet everyone, the players, the coaches, everyone is just like, going with the flow, very relaxed. It's a really fun atmosphere, and I couldn't ask for anything more because everyone's been nothing but nice.
All right. Now, you're both heavily into broadcasting at school, and what made you interested in the broadcasting field?
For me, it was a long time ago when I was watching Monday Night Football, and I saw John Madden and Al Michaels on TV, and I just kind of fell in love with like something I want to do. I played a lot of basketball and baseball in high school, but I knew that at only 5'5", I wasn't going to go in any professional sports. So, I mean, I just kind of fell in love with broadcasting it, and it was really something that I got into a lot. I mean, you get to go to all the games, you get the best seat in the house at a lot of the games you go to, so it's a really fun experience no matter what sport you do, and baseball has been something new that I've been doing this summer, but it's probably the most interesting one that I've done so far.
Yeah, for me it was very similar. Obviously, I grew up a Phillies fan, and Harry Kalas was always the guy there, and he was the one everyone loved and adored. And I grew up watching, listening to him, and remember thinking, like, he just goes to baseball games every night and watches them and just tells everyone what happens. Like, that's an awesome job. And it just seemed like a really cool thing to get into, especially when you love sports and whatnot.
Okay. Now, what are your plans for the future? Like, I mean, what do you
I mean, it's a tough question because there's so many options you can go to when you're doing broadcasting. I mean, there's radio, like kind of what we do on the internet for away games is more of radio because there's no video that you guys provide here at WCTV. But then there's, the TV play-by-play, which is a little different because people can see the action. You got to tell more stories. But then there's other things that I'm into school at, like a TV station that could be like an anchor or a reporter. I mean, there's just so many options. And to be honest, I really don't know where I am right now. I mean, I'm really into doing the play-by-play, but also sitting at a desk behind a camera, I'm really comfortable with. So I could really go either way. And just this summer, I wanted to delve into more of behind the mic rather than behind the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty similar. I've done a little more radio stuff up at school. He's done a little more TV stuff and whatnot. But I'd like to probably get some sort of play-by-play job, figuring out what sport I'd like to do. I'd take any sport, really, but it's just a matter of figuring that out and getting all the sports, getting experience with them, which is what we're doing here with the baseball. So, yeah.
That kind of leads me into a question I had. What is your favorite sport to cover so far?
Whichever team's the best, but for me, I always thought baseball would be, and I've enjoyed this, no doubt about it, here in the summer. But up at Syracuse, it's definitely basketball because that's the team that everyone cares about. But for me, it's probably the experience here has been so much different than that because it's just that's at a school. There's a lot of ambiance around it, and here the ambiance is just different. It's a lot more of a communal thing in a real community, not a college campus. And so I would say they're different, but in my opinion, about even. That's probably my two favorite to cover that I've covered so far, probably Gatemen and Syracuse basketball.
I mean, the question, fun being definitely here because you have more freedom to basically do whatever you want. I mean, when you're covering the Syracuse basketball team at school, obviously they're like a top team in the country. There's national media surrounding you. You're very strict in what you have to say. I mean, it's not like you're going to get in trouble for anything that you say it's bad about if the team's doing well or if they're not, because you obviously have to be honest. But, I mean, at Syracuse, when the campus and you're in the Carrier Dome and there's 30,000 fans screaming on their feet, it's kind of tough to beat that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be very pressure-filled up there.
Yeah.
Now, one final question. You guys work a lot together at school?
A fair amount. It depends because we work for a couple of the same organizations, but you're working with different people a lot of times for different broadcasts, and it's sort of a rotating thing. And so, obviously, we know each other. We're in the same community, but we don't work together like all the time, but definitely a fair amount to the point where it's like we weren't complete strangers coming into this thing.
Yeah, obviously, luckily at Syracuse, there's a lot of guys who are into broadcasting, and even last year, I believe there was 4 or 5 guys who were on the Cape. So it's a revolving door of what you're going to do, play-by-play. Are you going to produce the broadcast? Are you going to host the broadcast? Are you going to engineer it? There's just so many options. And, me and Jared have fallen into the same games, and we obviously have gotten to know each other. We were supposed to actually call a lacrosse game towards the end of the year. Jared had to back out the last minute, but still it was going to be cool, but now we have so many games of experience under our belt. It's going to be great going back in the fall.
Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with proof that popularity has already gone to one of the Gatemen's heads. We'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you.
You didn't get us.
No, we didn't.
No,
he always
he-
messes up our signature, though.
Yeah, he didn't give us the chance to get his autograph.
Yeah, he's big leaguing us.
You're going prima donna on you?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
takes a lot to get Gary's too cool for us.
Gary's an important guy. Is that Batman?
He's got a lot more people to sign autographs for than us.
I haven't gotten his autograph yet, but I met him. He was actually signing some signatures, and he was number 0. So I saw him on a lot of the posters out here.
No, I haven't got Gary's autograph yet. He's hard to get to, man. Oh yeah, Gary's such a big leaguer. I'll get him one day.
I did. I got Gary's autograph. I actually did get Gary's autograph. He pointed at me.
Is he big leaguing you too?
Yeah, he's big leaguer.
Yeah, he seems to be big leaguing everybody.
He's a big leaguer. I live it's all with right Gary. though. Gary behind closed doors is a real nice guy though. So, yeah. I just see him as a big leaguer.
These are known as Wareham Gatemen tube steaks, by the way. They're not hot dogs. It's a special blend of beef and pork with the fine spices. that we use. Delicious.